Today on One-on-One with Ella, we are going to talk to one of the young successful photographers, Chris Kaiteshonga, the accomplishments in his career, challenges throughout the years, and a little bit about his personal life. A journey that was not easy being an outsider, trying to achieve the American dream. Although we enjoy the art creators put their mind and soul into, viewers don't get to see people behind the camera. Today, we had a chance to meet and sit down with Chris Kaiteshonga. He shared so much with us about his work and love life. So Chris, how did you grow a passion of photography?
The passion sort of started later on in life, but it started with my father. When I was 8 years old, he had this small film camera that he kind of used to walk around with and take photos with around events and parties, my birthdays, most of the time.
At the age of 9, he developed a love for photography inspired by his father. So tell me about the story where you take pictures and frame everybody out.
I think it was like a Christmas party. I can't remember what it was. Obviously I was 8. And he just decided, hold on to this camera, go on and take photos. You only have 36 photos to take. It was like those film cameras, you only had about 36, so you had to take the right photos at the right time and make sure exactly, because they would end up in an album that everybody would go back home and and just flip through. And so I grabbed the camera, I went out and I was just photographing whatever I could, and then he went out to go develop them, and then he came back and I was like, you chopped up everybody's head. And I was like, well, I'm sorry. This is my first time doing this. And he's sort of like, oh, next time make sure people's heads are like in, make sure there's there's some room people can see and stuff. And so I feel like that's where he like sort of inspired the career in me, not knowing that he was doing that. Fast forward, when I was 14, he gave me a camcorder. I guess that was my graduation from photography.
So coming to the States, was it always part of the plan to go to college for visual arts?
My intentions coming here was to go to school for interior design, because part of my hobby has always been just placing things around the house and making them look cute and nice, and even my past apartments, some of my friends would come over and be like, does a girl live here or something? And then but it's just something that I don't know, it's just that thing that you grow up with, not knowing where it comes from. And I still practice it right now, but my goal was to go to interior design or construction management school. But then when I got into photography, it just like something else just was born in me, and I felt like I needed to feed it.
You played a role in different successful music videos.
If I remember correctly, those at the top. There was All Night by Mehdi. There was Downtown.
And many more?
Yeah, many more. So I had fun on all of them.
Yeah. All of them.
I remember at the top being one of those music videos where I was just like, we're on a set, everybody's just putting in, sweat and time and joy into making this piece of art come out, and seeing that Mehdi would only focus on his performance when we are taking care of other things. Lik and I spent like a day in a truck that we had rented, just getting different things to make things work. And then having those discussions, these intervals where we're having discussions of like what we're gonna work on and stuff like that, the creative talks, that is always super inspiring, because me personally, I learned a lot in those processes. So I tend to appreciate a lot of like what comes my way.
How collaborative was it creating visuals and treatment of a top?
I came in as a grip or a gaffer, if you might say. I was working to do with lights and preparing things. I remember that one day we spent the day with Lik in a truck, renting things and putting them in the back of the truck and taking them to the studio and just setting up together and trying to make sure we get the right lighting and stuff like that. And while he and I was focused on that, there's a few other people that are focused in other departments where we didn't have to. There's like a guy, I think there's a guy who came and like offered us food and stuff like that. Just seeing a group of more than 10 people gathered together to make this piece come to life, I feel was a great collaboration. And I feel like it was super inspiring to, at the end of the night or early in the morning, to sort of go home feeling like, yeah, that we did that, yeah.
You married?
Yeah, I've been married close to 2 years. It's gonna be 2 years on September 5th.
How did you meet Malaika?
We actually met in Rwanda through her cousin, who was trying to get her an accommodation back in Rwanda, and I had a hostel. So I hit her up and I was like, you can come and stay at my hostel, and you can lounge there with your friend. And she's like, well, we'll pay you whatever we have to pay you. And I was like, nah, don't worry about it. But you owe me some shots.
What would you like to say in the sense of inspiring young generation from your country that will want to pursue cinematography?
It would be the love, Love, of the craft is the biggest thing that I never say to anybody. If you truly love this craft, you will get to know how to do it, you will become really good at it, and you will pick up your own style along the way. But if you do it just because, Chris does it, or Lik does it, or Cedro does it, or, anybody else does it, Medisale is doing it, and you're like, oh man, like I kind of want to be like them, so let me just pick up a camera and just do it. You have to have a reason why you're getting into it, not just because it looks cool. Right. Or if you feel like it looks cool on our end and we're doing it, then start approaching people that are doing it to teach you, and then maybe from there you can develop a love for it. But let's just don't just draw yourself into it and feel like in the next 3 days you're gonna be the next Steven Spielberg.